Deep in the quietest part of the ocean, where sunlight faded into silver shadows, lived a mermaid unlike any other. Her name was Naira, and her scales shimmered in shades of black and violet, gleaming softly like the night sky after rain. While other mermaids sparkled with gold or coral or sea green tails, Naira's darkness made her different. The sea creatures admired her beauty, but many also feared her, whispering that she carried the night in her fins. So Naira often swam alone, singing softly to herself as the stars above glimmered through the waves. Her voice was low and calm, like the ocean before dawn. When she sang, the currents slowed and the sea rested, but no one ever stayed to listen. One day, as Naira floated near a forest of silver kelp, she saw a faint light glowing in the distance. It flickered like a candle deep under the waves. Curious, she followed it until she reached a cave she had never seen before. The cave walls sparkled faintly, reflecting her dark shimmer. Inside, she found something that took her breath away. A large pearl cracked down the middle, its light flickering weakly. Naira reached out and touched the pearl. A soft voice whispered from within, "Help me." She gasped and pulled back. The pearl was alive. It was the heart pearl, the spirit that helped the ocean's colors stay bright. Long ago, it had been guarded by the Rainbow Sisters, mermaids of every color. But after they drifted apart, the pearl began to fade. "The ocean's colors are dying," the voice said faintly. "Without unity, the sea will lose its song." Naira's heart ached. She knew what it felt like to be alone, to have beauty misunderstood. "I'll help you," she said softly. "But how?" The pearl's glow dimmed. "You must find what has been lost, the light that hides inside the dark." Naira didn't understand at first, but she knew she couldn't leave the pearl like this. She began to swim across the sea, looking for anything that could restore its glow. She traveled through coral valleys where the reefs had lost their shine, through fields of drifting shells that no longer sang. Wherever she went, she found shadows swallowing color. But instead of running from them, Naira swam closer. In one valley, she found frightened jellyfish trapped in a whirlpool of black mist. Their glow had faded, and they trembled as the current pulled them down. "Stay still," Naira said softly. She raised her hands and began to sing. Her song was low, steady, and deep. It moved through the water like a heartbeat. The black mist swirled, listening. Then it began to calm, fading into soft gray currents. The jellyfish started glowing again, faintly at first, then brighter and brighter. They circled around Naira, lighting the water in gentle pinks and golds. "Thank you," they whispered. "We thought darkness would always win." Naira smiled. "Darkness only wins when we stop shining." She took a tiny spark of their glow and carried it back to the pearl. As the light touched it, the crack sealed a little, and the pearl's voice sighed with relief. "You have found the first color," it whispered. "Compassion." But the pearl still flickered weakly. Naira knew she had to find more. Next, she traveled to the deepest trench, where even her dark shimmer couldn't reach the bottom. There she found an ancient whale tangled in a net of silver chains. His great body moved slowly, tired and heavy. "I am too old," the whale rumbled. "The sea has forgotten me." Naira swam close and placed her hand on his fin. "No one is forgotten," she said. Then she sang again, her melody rising and falling like the tide. The silver chains loosened, melting into starlight that drifted away. The whale stretched his fins wide and let out a deep, joyful note that echoed through the trench. When Naira returned to the pearl, she brought a fragment of that starlight. The pearl glowed brighter, its color turning silver and gold. "You have found the second color," it said. "Hope." Naira smiled, though she felt tired. She had traveled far and faced many shadows, yet her heart felt lighter each time she shared her song. She realized that darkness wasn't meant to hide beauty, it was meant to protect it, to give it a place to rest. Finally, as she swam one last time to the pearl, she looked at her reflection in its light. Her scales no longer looked lonely. Within them, tiny colors shimmered: violet, blue, crimson, and silver, all glowing quietly, like stars in a night sky. The pearl pulsed warmly. "You have found the final color, Naira. It was always inside you." And then the heart pearl burst open, releasing waves of light that swept across the sea. The reefs gleamed again, the fish shimmered, and the coral sang soft songs of joy. When the ocean settled, Naira saw her reflection in the water above. Her scales still shimmered black, but within the black were threads of rainbow light, moving and changing like living color. From that day on, the sea creatures no longer feared her. They called her Naira, the night's rainbow, the mermaid who brought light from the dark. Whenever the ocean grew too bright or too still, Naira would sing her calm, low song, reminding the sea that balance was beautiful, that even night had its own glow. And when children looked at the ocean from the shore, they sometimes saw her shadow move beneath the waves, leaving behind tiny trails of rainbow sparkles in the dark. Because Naira had learned what the pearl had always known. True light doesn't come from brightness alone. It comes from courage, kindness, and the colors we carry inside our hearts. Moral: even in darkness, there is beauty waiting to shine. The bravest hearts are those that bring light to others, even when they themselves come from the shadows.